Hi, I'm VanBeber, and I'm a professor of nutritional sciences at Texas Christian University. And today I'm going to talk to you about cutting Brussels sprouts for use in your meals. So Brussels sprouts belong to the cruciferous family, and they are known to be very anti-cancer. And so something to remember about when you do cut any cruciferous vegetable, which includes Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, when you cut them, you should wait at least 30 minutes before you eat them, because sulforaphane is one of the anti-cancer compounds in cruciferous vegetables like Brussels sprouts, and the precursor to that is in this vegetable, and then you let it sit and the enzymes activate the anti-cancer compound better. So it's always better to wait at least 30 minutes after you cut these. So there are different things you can do with a Brussels sprout, and one of the first things you'd want to do is to cut the end off, because it's gotten dry since it was cut from the plant and in the store. And so you can just do that and then put that in your compost bin somewhere. There are going to be some leaves that fall off. I personally like to save the leaves, because when I roast them, I like the crispiness that you get from the leaves. And so, but some of them, this is in really good shape. This is not brown, but sometimes you'll get Brussels sprouts that have a lot of brown spots, and you do want to get all that off, and you can just peel that off. Some people might even cut this a little more to get more of this is more tough, but if you're somebody like me who likes texture, you might like that contrast in texture. So you can leave it whole like this, and this is actually a way to cook it if you're going to maybe steam it or boil it, and that's a good way to cook it. And then to get more flavor after you steam it and boil it, you could toss it with some olive oil and some chopped nuts or something like that. So whole is fine. They'll take a little longer to cook, but if you want to cook them by dry heat, like roasting, it's suggested that you at least cut them in half, because they'll cook a little faster. Also, you're going to get a lot of great caramelization on different sides, and I like to put them face down then on the baking sheet. So when you buy Brussels sprouts in the produce section, they usually come in a package like this, and so there are going to be different sizes. And so here's a bigger one. So I'm going to cut the end off of it. And whenever you are cutting, no matter what you're cutting, you should always try to tuck your fingers back. Let the knuckles guide the knife like this. So I'm going to cut the top off again and discard that into my compost bin, get rid of the leaves. But like I said, the other day I cooked some Brussels sprouts and I saved all these, and these just were little crispy bits on the sheet pan. So some people will say, now since this is bigger, maybe I should cut this into fourths. And so I've cut it into half, and then it's always easier to cut if you have a straight edge down. So instead of cutting like this, I'm going to change it like this. And so this will just cook faster, but then it also gives you more opportunity for browning on different sides. So that's really all you have to do to roast some Brussels sprouts. Another option, though, is raw Brussels sprouts, like raw broccoli. Salads are becoming more popular, and so there are different ways that you can prep your Brussels sprout for a raw application. And so I would suggest trying to always get your straight edge first. You could then cut it into, let your knuckles guide you again. You could cut it into slices. And then when it gets small like this, just turn it over, and then you can do some more. Just go slowly. You don't have to be in a hurry. And then the last one's going to be more difficult. But then you have some slices. Some will fall apart, but so that's one look. When you're cutting any vegetable, visualize your final product. Because like, what do you want? Do you want these little pieces like this? And then when you are organizing something into a pile, don't go like this with your knife, because you'll dull the knife faster. Turn the knife over. So let's say I want smaller pieces, then I can just chop back and forth. Like let's say let's say you want to hide some vegetables in something, which I've been known to do in things like lasagna. And so then you can cut them really small. Just go back and forth until you get the desired shape that you want. So honestly, you can really hide stuff like this in bolognese or lasagna and things like that. So I guess those are my suggestions for Brussels sprouts. You can leave them whole. They'll cook longer. They're real pretty though if you cook them just right till they're bright green. You can cut them in half or in quarters. You can chop them up to hide them or to make it. This is nice for a salad. So thank you and enjoy cutting up some Brussels sprouts.